like that. Hey, I know you like that. Hey, I know you like that. Hey, I know you like that. Whoa, taking exotic trips. Yeah, I know you like that. Whoa, switching up all the.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Tia Beauty YouTube channel. Today on my channel, we are going to be making the most delicious peach cobbler. But guys, guess what? This is not just any old take the longest time ever peach cobbler. This is going to be the quickest, easiest, and simplest way to make the most delicious peach cobbler. So if you'd like to see how to make it, stay tuned. Alright guys, so first thing you want to do is take 2 cans of peaches, and you only need the juice from one of the cans. So just pour that first can into your mixing bowl, and the second one you want to drain all of that juice. But make sure you save your peaches and then pour those peaches into your mixing bowl. So one of the first things that we're going to do to get started on our peach cobbler is we're going to take some lemon juice, and you want to take a tablespoon and put 2 tablespoons of lemon juice into your peach cobbler mixture. Then you want to go ahead and take some ground nutmeg and put about 2 dashes of nutmeg into your mixture, and then take some cinnamon and put about 2 to 3 hefty dashes into your mixture and mix all of that together. So then what you're going to want to do is take some butter, and we're going to take that same tablespoon and put in 2 tablespoons of butter into our peach cobbler mixture, and then just go ahead and mix all of that into the mixture. So then guys, what you're going to do is we're going to take some white sugar, and we're going to pour 1/4 cup of white sugar into our peach cobbler mixture. Then we're going to take some dark brown sugar, and we're going to put 2/3 cup of dark brown sugar packed, meaning make sure it's packed down and flattened into the cup up to 2/3 line, and add that to the peach cobbler mixture as well. And then we're going to mix both of those sugars in with our peach cobbler mix. And make sure you mix them in good, because you're definitely going to want to taste it at this point and see if it is the perfect amount of sweetness for you, or if it is you need more sweetness. So for me, it was the perfect amount of sugar. So just keep mixing all that sugar in together. And then what we're going to do is take some apple pie spice, and you want to be careful how much apple pie spice you want to use. I used about 2 small dashes because you do not want your peach cobbler tasting like apple pie, but that seasoning does do something for your peach cobbler, so just add a little bit of it. And then taste it and see if that is the perfect peach cobbler mixture for you. And now make sure you do this next step because it's so important. We're going to take some white flour, and we're going to take 2.5 tablespoons of white flour and mix that into our batter, and we're doing that just to thicken up our peach cobbler mixture and give it a nice glaze. So then what you're going to want to do with your peach cobbler mixture is you're going to want to take a pot that's been heating on like a medium heat and add your peach cobbler mixture to that pot, because we want to blend in our flour and our butter into that mixture and thicken up our peach cobbler mix. So we're just going to let that heat up, and you should see it begin to start boiling, and just let that sit and boil for about 5 minutes. So while we're waiting for that mixture to boil, this part is optional, but this is how I want my top crust. So I went ahead and sliced up my pie crust. And this is how your peach cobbler mix should look once it's finished boiling and all that flour and butter is all mixed in. So now this part is optional. Do this part if you are a crust lover like me. So take one of your pie crust mixes, and I got 2 packages of the Pillsbury pie crust because in each package gives you 2, so I had a total of 4 pie crusts. And we're going to put that first crust in the oven for 5 minutes, and then you're going to take 2 crusts and combine it to your pot that whatever your peach cobbler is going to bake in. And that pie crust that went in the oven for 5 minutes, you're going to break it apart and add it to your peach cobbler mixture. As you can see here, it's all mixed in with the peaches because I love me some crust. So now I'm just doing my top crust, and I'm going ahead and putting each piece of pie crust over my peaches. And then you're gonna take some egg wash and just swipe that egg wash over the top part of your pie crust, just so that you get a nice golden, yummy crust once it's finished baking. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do my next design to my pie crust and add the other bits of pie crust in the opposite way. And then egg wash that as well. And that's how I wanted my peach cobbler crust to look. So then what you're gonna wanna do is take that and put it in the oven, and make sure your oven was heating at 350 degrees, and let it bake for about 45 minutes to an hour. And this is what your peach cobbler should look like once it is done baking. I left mine in the oven for an hour, but at 45 minutes it's basically done, but you can leave it in a little bit longer to your preference. So I went ahead and cut me a nice slice and got some Haagen-Dazs vanilla ice cream, and I'm gonna go ahead and eat some of that. Look at it, guys, it looks so yummy, so good, and it's just perfect. So good, guys.